Hello everyone, Locoforce here, and welcome to the latest update on restoring my old model railway. As you can see, we have a new engine to the fleet, and quite a lot has been done since the last update. Yeah, let's jump right in. So the first noticeable thing is my new Class 08 in First Great Western livery. I bought this off a mate on Instagram for 80 quid, pre-owned, but these things are about 200 quid on eBay, brand new. So I think that's a bargain, and it's so hard to get First Great Western stuff these days that I'm just totally fine with it. I think that's a really good price, and I was very lucky to get it. But yeah, we'll go slightly more in depth into that model in just a minute. But I'll just give a quick overview of what else has happened. So as you can see here, I have done some work to the station platform. We have some new track laid in here, over here, and we have the interior main line, I think it's the up line, has also been finished. And over here, I've done some work adding an abandoned siding. So yeah, I'll give a closer look at the 08, and we've got a lot to talk about today, so I don't know, grab a cup of tea I guess, and yeah, hope you enjoy. This right here is 08822 John, which coincidentally is the name of one of my granddads, also my brother, but I guess that's just unfortunate coincidence. But yeah, it's a Hornby model, it's DCC ready, and it is just beautiful. It's got so much detail, and it's already my new favourite model, and has already beaten my 121. Yeah, so these are 195 on eBay, brand new, so they are fairly hard to come across at a reasonable price. But like I said, I got this for 80 quid off a friend on eBay. It is pre-owned, but it's in brilliant condition, and it runs beautifully. I will say it isn't a huge fan of my points. I mean, it stopped here a minute ago, and it stops about here and here and here, but that's a long stretch of points for a short wheelbase engine, so I can't blame it. And my track also probably needs cleaning, so it's not the engine's fault, it's entirely my fault. But the most important thing about this is that this kind of propels the layout into its new era, and what should be its permanent final decision era. So if you saw my last video on the layout, I talked about how I just didn't know what I was going to do, and I read all the comments, and I finally think I've got down what I want to do. So this layout is now set roughly in the area between Newport and Taunton, including stations like Bridgewater, Western-super-Mare. So as I was just saying, it is set. So it's set in the Westcountry. And the reason I've done this is because, well, it's mainly because of my memories from summer last year onwards in 2019. Me and my girlfriend were long distance. She lives in South Wales, I live in England, and we met in Western-super-Mare. We spent a lot of time in Taunton. We've stayed in Bridgewater. We've been to Bristol and Newport, and I've also had to take trains from Newton Abbot up to Bridgewater, Taunton, etc., etc. And obviously it's very special memories to me. So what I wanted to do was try and recreate that. So from now on, this layout is set in the West Country and South Wales, so it's quite a large area. But from about summer 2019 up until lockdown in March of 2020. So it's quite an exact period. I doubt I'll be able to follow it that closely, but I'm trying to limit myself in what I buy. So that's the era, that's the location. So I'll talk about some of the bits that I have based off real life locations, very loosely, obviously, because I haven't done much detail work yet. So these two tracks here and this abandoned line are part of what I'm calling rough water sidings, which is a Network Rail operated sort of track maintenance place. Now this is based off Taunton's Fairwater Yard. So you've got fair water, rough water, whatever. It's a clear rip-off. So what we have is we've got an abandoned siding, which is made out of an old level crossing, which I think looks quite good there, and it would have joined on here. Someone in a chat I am in suggested I add a point in here and put it out, but obviously I'm on DC, so it would be cut out as the power track's there. So I decided I'll just do an abandoned one, and I think it's turned out quite well, to be honest, and it kind of merges in with the hillside, and I painted up that buffer as well with my Posca pens. So yeah, what's going to be based here is I'm going to be getting some network rail JNAs, I think, and a Freightliner Class 66, which will operate out of this siding, as that is what I remember, because I saw it from the train window as I was going to Taunton. So I'd see 66 is obviously the Hob C, high output ballast cleaner, which is what's based at Fairwater Yard. Obviously they don't do a model of that, so I'm just going to get a collection of network rail JNAs and some EWS wagons to make sort of engineer trains. So these are my kind of stand-in wagons at the moment. I've got a ballast wagon and just a crappy Hornby railroad body, which I've chucked a bit of spare track on. So yeah, that's gonna have a Freightliner 66 base there, also this little truck, and yeah, a couple network rail wagons basically. So if we move further on, over here is what it isn't really based off anywhere. I mean, I guess you could say it's based off St Philip's Marsh, but obviously on an incredibly small scale. So what's going to be going on here is this is what I'm calling St Brian's Wagon Repair Depot. And the Class 08 is going to be based there, so it's got its own little siding, and these sidings have enough room for a couple Mark IIIs. So I'm going to be getting a Hornby HST, the railroad one, as I think it looks quite cool, and I can do whatever I need to do to make it look more realistic. So I'm going to have a rake of sliding door coaches, and what I'm going to do is occasionally, let's say, they need repairs, so they're dragged down from St Philip's Marsh by I don't know, the Freightliner 66, I guess, and then the 08 has to shunt them into this siding, and then they get repaired here. So there might be a shed at some point that will go there, and yeah, so it's got a siding for the 08, a couple sidings for some Mark III, so I've work done to, and I thought that'd add a little bit of operational interest to the layout. It's called St Brian's because my late granddad was called Brian, so I thought why not, just add that in. And also everyone in the Westcountry seems to be called St this or St that. Got St Philip's Marsh, Texas, St David, St Thomas, St Germans, blah blah blah, and I thought they'd just fit in quite nicely. So I'll get a shed, whack some logos, GWR logos on there. That's going to be GWR operated, this will be network rail operated. What else have we got? We have the other industry on the layout, which is, well, it's just a siding. At the moment I'm using it as a DMU siding. DMU comes in here, stops, and just pulls into a siding for a rest. But from now on it will probably take itself into the depot. So what I'm thinking of going here is going to be a nuclear flask depot, as there's one in Bridgewater, which is obviously between Taunton and Seven Tunnel Junction, so it will fit in fine, which means I'm going to get a DRS 68 at some point, and a flask wagon that can sit in there, and I'll probably try and get some sort of crane that will make it look somewhat realistic. And then, I don't know, that won't really have a name, that'll literally just be called the Flask Depot. And then the final thing we have is this little one platform station here, which I have done up in a modern GWR style, which has the big numbers saying what coach would park there or whatever. Yes, it is quite shoddy, it is done with pen and I wrote it myself, but if I'm honest, I think it's turned out pretty bloody well. There's a little bit of an issue with the fence, so what I've done is I've just piled this stuff up here, and they're supposed to represent the sort of wheelchair ramps that they need to get disabled people up onto the trains. So I've got a little bit more work to do. I'm going to add some brick paper down the bottom around the back, the front, sorry, and then we're going to have to do something about the back here. Sorry you're going upside down, but obviously it just goes straight onto the road, there's no steps. So I might just do nothing about it because you can't see it, but I also might figure something out in the future. So those are the industries, the era, everything that's going down with the layout. In the future I'll be running a Reaver Trains Wales, 153s and 67s, GWR HST, we'll have the 08 shunting in there, and we'll have a Freightliner Class 66, and a DRS loco and a flask wagon. So I think this is going to have a lot of operational interest, and it will be really fun for me to be able to attempt to kind of recreate my memories. So that's what's going on with the layout from now on. So yeah, These are the only two things that really fit the era at the moment, so I'll be gradually building up my collection. And my other wagons my other vehicles, this will become part of the sort of heritage fleet. I'm still going to run it because I love it, and I've got my American Loco, which probably won't be used too much, but I've got my stock for it, so I might as well use it. But yeah, so that is what I'm trying to do here. I'll still be collecting some Canadian stuff on the sideline, as I also have a big interest in that. But I'll be mainly focusing on getting the right type of stock and modern image stuff that fit in my new era, which is narrowing it down, which means I have a clear idea of what I'm doing in the future of the layout. So yeah, what else have we done? We've got some cows, because the Westcountry, you know, got to have cows. I've put this sort of temporary line-side abandoned hut in the corner. What else have we done? Me and the people on Instagram, if you don't follow me on Instagram, go check it out. The people on Instagram, they helped me out with coming up what's going on in the middle here, and what I think is going to happen is sort of a farm slash sort of scrapyard for old tractors and stuff, because there's cows around, so obviously it's got to be a farmer somewhere. And obviously, if you think about it, nothing else would really fit there, given how just countryside the rest of the layout is. If I whacked in a supermarket, it would look stupid. If I whacked in a small town, I just don't think it would work. So we're going for a farm in the middle there. And we've also got to put a new tunnel portal on here. And that is pretty much all we've got to do to kind of restore the layout a bit. And obviously, as time goes on, I'll do more and more detail work. And, well, once that's done, I guess I'll be out of here and moving on to the other layout. But the only issues I have at the moment, I don't really know what to name the station. I don't know if it should be a TFW or an ATW station yet, or an FGW, GWR, whatever. But yeah, and also the second looper track is in. So that's what's been going down on the layout recently. So I hope you've enjoyed the video, and I'm going to leave you now with some running shots. So thanks for watching, and if you've enjoyed what I've been talking about here and the future of the layout, then yeah, please consider subscribing. I'll see you guys in the next video. Thanks for watching.